one of you out there. Lakeisha McKnight is here. Welcome to the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. Again, welcome to the night show, everyone. Excited to be here. I may be looking around a bit as I want to make sure that all is well on these various platforms. To the leadership. And it sounds as though all is well. Right now we're streaming directly onto YouTube. We'll be placing this information on Facebook. Normally we stream from Zoom onto Facebook, but the connection is not doing very well. So we're definitely going to make sure for all of you who are on Facebook can access this information. And it may be after the fact because right now it's a little after 7:30, but we're here. This is the 1st of September, by the way, when this information is being shared. And so listen, for those of you on the podcast platforms, thank you so very much for joining me here on the platform on tonight. And listen, if you want to be able to watch the video version, you want to click on the links that's been provided for you in the description area. And so listen, I thank each and every one of you for being here with me on tonight. I truly do. This show goes live every single night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the goal. There's one essential goal that we look to accomplish here with the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. And that is empowering leaders like yourself with the ability to win from the inside out, growing your influence, your impact, and your income. Those are the 3 areas of focus that we have a part of the show. And so I do want to welcome you here and thank you so much for being a part. There are a few ways to be involved as we're here together. Number 1, you can like or love the stream or, of course, the podcast as you're tuning into it. You can also comment below, all right? Leave your thoughts below the video to the side of the podcast, wherever you're watching this. And then depending on where you're watching this, if it's after the fact on Facebook, you still can do a watch party in conjunction to it so that you can inform those who are connected to you about the information shared. Because if you want to truly be a successful, wife, husband, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, or you just want to be better at what you do in the corporate space, listen, you need to work on your ability to lead. Enhance your ability to lead. Because I believe, just as Dr. John Maxwell has shared, everything rises and falls upon leadership. Okay, leadership is really influence. Just as he said, nothing more and nothing less. Leadership is influence. And so what I want to encourage you to do is definitely have a notepad and a pen. You want to take some copious notes to figure out how can you enhance yourself? How can you go about being a better version of yourself? And so tonight, what I normally do, okay, is I make sure that I provide a little bit of a leadership nugget for you, and it's sort of like an appetizer. All right. And so the information that I'm be gleaning from and sharing with you tonight is some information from, of course, my mentor. Okay. My mentor, and that is Dr. John Maxwell. Dr. John Maxwell. Okay. This book here, we may have gone over a previous book before, okay, which dealt with Leadership 101. And now we're focusing in on relationships. So Relationships 101. Okay. And so I began to talk about yesterday, the importance of being able to believe in people, right? And having faith in people. And so I started to go into how to become a believer in people. And the first nugget that I shared, which is actually a part of the 3rd chapter in this particular book, is, he mentions how we have to believe in people before they actually succeed. Like, believe in them. Okay, believe in their capabilities, what their potential is. Because the more that they see that you believe in them, they're going to even strive even harder to live up to it. Okay, to actually meet your expectations. And it's not that, they're going to do something to cause themselves harm. They're just going to work even harder. Okay, because some people have this mindset where they don't want to let you down. And so they want to do all that they can. And not just for you, when in actuality, it's going to meet up to the point where they believe in themselves and they do it for them. Okay, so that's normally how it works. So, the first point he talks about again is believing in them before they actually succeed. All right. Now, the other point that he mentions here is emphasizing their strengths. Yes, you got to find out, for those who are connected to you, right? What are their strengths? What are they particularly good at? Okay. and actually encourage them to focus on those more and enhance those, be able to utilize those the most. Okay, and so again, emphasize their strengths. And he says here about this point, he says many people mistakenly think that to build relationships and be influential, they have to be an authority, okay, and point out others' deficiencies. People who try that approach become like Lucy from the comic strip Peanuts by Charles Schulz. Okay, he says in one strip, Lucy told poor Charlie, "You're in the shadow of your own goalposts. You are a miscue. You are 3 putts on the 18th green." Okay, so pretty much, listen, not encouraging at all. Those words are not encouraging. And so you want to be on the more positive route. You want to really enhance and encourage them to focus on what they're good at. Point out those elements, those skill sets that they have that are positive, that are strong. Now, another point that Dr. John Maxwell points out and helps us to understand is for us to list their past successes. Now, it doesn't mean that you are to dwell on your past successes because that was yesterday. But again, list the things, go through the things that you've actually accomplished. Okay, you actually have done some things relatively well. Now, here's an example. That's like me, for example, dwelling on, when I was coming up as a kid, right? In high school, if I was to just dwell on some of the things that I accomplished, like for example, and just as the list, I'll be stuck in the past if I just focused on, okay, I went to a school, right, where it wasn't just based on just getting a diploma. I was actually a part of a school where we had majors, a high school we had majors. So I majored in drama, I majored in acting, coming up in high school. We didn't have the standard. It was a performing arts high school. And so that's what the focus was. And so if I was to focus on that, right, and the fact of being, valedictorian of the class, if I was to just focus on that, I'll be stuck in the past. Okay, I would absolutely be stuck in the past. I can't dwell there. That was yesterday. I can't get back yesterday, right? I had a good time during that time frame, but I can't get that back at all, right? And so again, list the successes, right? And of course, reflect on them, but you don't want to dwell there. Okay, you definitely don't want to dwell there. All right, and then it just gives them a sense of hope of being able to accomplish and do more. Like you've been able to do that. Imagine what you can do right now. Okay, so that's just something to consider. Now, another point that he mentions is instill confidence when they fail. And see, one thing that I always say, I look at failures like, man, okay, well, that's just one way I learned not to do something. I actually learned not to do something, right? I learned something. Hello, right? Life is all about the lessons that we learn, right? And being able to do it a better way. So you don't have to go around in circles and go around the mountain over and over and over again. Okay, learn the lesson, keep it moving, right? Keep it moving because time doesn't stand still, so we got to keep moving. We just got to keep moving forward, okay? But instill confidence, learn the lesson, and keep going, all right? Now, some other things he points out, I'm just going to mention one more because John Maxwell goes in this chapter. He really did. Now, another point that he mentions is experience some wins together, right? It's all about, of course, celebrating your wins, celebrating the fact that you've accomplished something. For example, when you are part of a business team, it's not just one person or the visionary that's winning. No, the whole team is winning. We're winning together. It's not about one person. There, like some people say, there's no I, right, in team. And so you want to be able to accomplish something together because it gives you yet another reference point. Like, man, we were able to accomplish this. Imagine, where things are going to be like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? Imagine how that's going to look. And so those are just some ways that we can begin to believe in people. This is how we're going to build relationships. That's how relationships are maintained. It's not necessarily about one person. It's about the team. It's about celebrating other people. And go where you are celebrated, not where you're tolerated. That's like stressful. That's stressful for me even saying it. Do you see how, in between my eyes just fringed up a little bit? It's stressful just even talking about it. Go where you are celebrated. Okay, where you're celebrated. And so that was a little bit of an appetizer. And here's what I did realize. I also just realized I'm not recording this. So listen. So of course I'm going to have to figure out a way to get this so we can get it uploaded, of course, to Facebook. But we'll get it worked out. Okay. And so listen up. The other point that I do want to make mention of right now is our main meal. Okay. The main meal that we've been focusing in on here with Leadership TKO is from a book that was written by T. Harv Eker. And I am going to try my very best to pull this up. Let me see if I can share my screen a bit. Perfect. There it is. Here we go. All right. T. Harv Eker. I don't know how many of you remember a book that he published. It's called Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. All right. And so one of the nuggets in his book, of course, is this here. And before we do that, you all know that what we normally do before we dive into this main meal, and that is placing your hands on your head or on your heart, wherever you want it to be, and of course, affirming and verbalizing it, or either, of course, typing it in for those of you who are watching the video, and affirm, I have a billionaire mind. Let's just skip saying a millionaire mind, because what we've all learned and come to realize, you're going to need more than just $1 million to thrive. You're going to need at least about 10 million, right? So let's just go for the billion. Why not? Why not? Okay. Hands on your head and affirm, I have a billionaire mind. Okay. And not just saying it during this show. You want to affirm this when you wake up. You want to affirm this throughout the day, before you go to bed. Okay. With somebody getting on your last nerve. Affirm, I have a billionaire mind. All right. And billionaires, they don't focus on some trivial matters. Yes, conflict is going to arise. Deal with it. Okay. Deal with the conflict. Don't sweep it under the rug. It's just going to come back up, or it's going to get even bigger. Okay. So just deal with it. Deal with it. See, here's a point that T. Harv Eker makes. And what he does in this book is he compares those who are rich compared to those who are poor. Now, I like to think about it in terms of this: those who are wealthy versus those who maybe are part of the wealthy class compared to those who are part of the working class. Okay. And so that's how I put a little bit of a spin on it. And so here's what he says. He says, rich people act in spite of fear. Yeah, it may be present. They're not sweeping it under the rug as if they don't know it's present, right? But they just deal with it. They roll with the punches. They do what they got to do. Okay, right? But then poor people let fear stop them. Right? Can you imagine? Think about the moments. Like, I think about some of the things, that it could have probably shook a lot of people not to be able to do it. Like, for example, if I had not, gotten on a plane and been on a plane for about 30 hours. I know some people, they're like, what? 30 hours? It wasn't a whole 30 hours. It wasn't. It felt like it sometimes. But it was maybe a couple hours break, stop somewhere else in another country, pick up and keep on going, right? And this is when I went to Thailand. And I went by myself, right? Some people would have freaked out traveling over all of that water, all of that time in countries. They don't even know what language these people are speaking in. And listen, I went in spite of. Now, I'm not saying that I was necessarily afraid. I didn't know what I was getting myself into as far as all these different countries I was landing in. That's what I was looking at, okay? But again, rich people, wealthy people, they act in spite of fear. While poor people, they let it stop them. Almost like a door is right there and you can't get beyond the door. Yeah. And you see, early in the book, Mr. Eker, he talks of the process of manifestation formula. And it states, thoughts produces feelings. Feelings then lead to actions. Okay? Actions will lead to results. Millions of people think about being rich. And then the real world where we exist, action is needed in order to succeed. If you're reading along with me, if action is such an essential role in achieving success, then what is keeping us from taking these actions that we so well know we really need to be taking? Okay? Fear, doubt, worry, the most common barriers, not only to success, everybody, but also to happiness. It's a big barrier for many people. One of the biggest differences observed between rich and poor people is that the rich are still waiting. They're not waiting, but they're willing to act even if they feel fear. I look at it like this. I see fear as a challenge. I'm like, oh, wait, what is this? What is this that I'm feeling? Right? It's like a little bit of a hesitation, a little bit. You're like, well, where is this coming from? But we still persevere and we press on regardless. That's like, for example, that common fear of speaking. Some people are just like, they get stuck and they get frozen. It's like they freeze in the moment. I normally see, because I did this for some time. I understand now, right? That it's just for that moment. That's why, for example, for me, I can't speak for everyone else. If you were to think about some of the most common things like fear of heights, bungee jumping, whatever those things are, because I know what fear feels like, I'm talking about life trembling fear. I also know that on the other side of fear, there is like this amazing excitement, this thrill that you've achieved something and accomplished something great. So I know, for example, if I was to even think about something like bungee jumping, which is on my bucket list, I probably would do it because I know that it's just getting to that point where you're on the edge, and then after you're gone, and after you're over the edge and you've taken that step, that's it. Okay, that's it. I might not do bungee jumping. I might consider a skydiving. That's what I probably was really trying to say. Skydiving. Okay, and so again, that's just a little bit of an example. Now, I don't know how many of you would actually try that, but anywho, you see, that's a big difference. You see, poor people, on the other hand, they allow fear to stop them. They allow fear to stop them, and you really shouldn't. I mean, you'll be missing out on so many things in life if you allow fear to hold you back. I mean, and one thing I always tell people, fear and faith cannot exist. It cannot be activated in motion at the same time. Either one is in control or the other. Which one are you gonna allow to control you, to dominate in your life? I would say faith. I would say faith. I would say act. Take action. Okay, take action. And so again, act. Listen. The biggest risk is not taking action and then getting to the end of your life and you're starting to sing the I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but you're at the end and you're about to cross over. Okay, don't get to that point where you regret not being able to do certain things. So here's what I'm going to encourage you. For those of you who are looking to build wealth and you're watching this, right? Very important that you connect with the people who you see are actually taking action. Okay, look into it, especially if it's an opportunity where it's going to change not just your life, but the others who are connected to you, like your children and other family members. Okay, or maybe even the lives that you're supposed to be connected to impact and to influence. So take the action, take the next step. All right, take the next step. Don't allow fear to cripple you, or of course to be that barrier that can really honestly change your life. So I appreciate each and every one of you, viewing the Leadership TKO Live night show, whether you're on the podcast platform, YouTube, or maybe you're watching the video that can possibly be uploaded onto Facebook because this was not recorded. And so there's too many buttons that I have to figure out back here in the office here, but hopefully we'll get it onto Facebook and you all are watching this. And so definitely provide your feedback on these various platforms. And I enjoy doing what I do, and I enjoy the fact that, this perhaps is changing your life. Remember, we do the Leadership TKO Live night show every single night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On occasion, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, we try to do it a little bit earlier so that we do not conflict with some other meetings and trainings that we do have going on. Okay? So listen, if you're watching this, you want to build wealth, connect with, a wealth builder. Another wealth builder could be sharing this with you. Get with them, let them know that you're ready to get on that path to building wealth, to establishing a lifestyle that you've always desired. Okay? Do it in spite of fear. do it. So I appreciate your time. And so listen, if you're wanting to learn more about what it is we do as well, please understand that we are a big family. All of the wealth builders, we're a big family. And we also have presentations that we host Monday through Saturdays, 12 o'clock p.m. and 9 o'clock p.m. And so we encourage you and invite you to join us on the Zoom platform when we do these presentations. And so there are two essential ways you can participate, and I'm going to encourage you to get on the Zoom platform to ensure that you get the information. And so the first thing you're going to want to do is download the Zoom app. That's number one. And then number two, please make sure you go to www.goldrocks.info. Go there. And you're going to need the password to get on the platform. So make sure you inbox the person that shared this with you so that you can get access to the password and beat us there. I don't want you to meet me there. Beat me there, okay? Beat me there. So I appreciate you guys. And so remember, for all of you on the Zoom platform, shout out to, of course, Alicia Minto, Patricia Goodman. Thank you so much for being here with me. Appreciate you, ladies. And so listen, everyone, until the next time that you and I come together again, I do encourage you to think, to speak, and to live leadership. Good night, everyone, and God bless. Stream is over.